Hello, very good morning to you. The anticyclonic gloom many of us have been under for a little while will continue through the next day or so. We call it this because we're under high pressure and anticyclone, and whilst this brings a settled weather, in this instance it's kind of trapping the cloud and keeping it over us, which is why things are pretty grey for the time being. And with that we will see some outbreaks of drizzly rain as we go through the rest of today, through into tomorrow as well. There is a front coming down from the north as we go through later tomorrow. That won't bring a huge amount of rain to many places. It's actually a feature that arrives later in the weekend, more so Sunday. That's likely to bring something a bit more unsettled, so we can expect some heavier rain, some stronger winds as we go into the beginning of next week. But if we go back to the here and now and through this morning, some fog and freezing fog patches first thing, particularly across parts of Scotland, and some of these could linger through much of the day. Otherwise, the best of the sunshine will actually be across Scotland. Some glimmers of sunshine across parts of Northern Ireland, maybe parts of Wales, perhaps across some southern parts. But actually for many, again, it is looking pretty grey, pretty cloudy. And with that, we're going to see outbreaks of drizzly rain coming in from the east. Nothing especially heavy, but yeah, just a bit damp at times. And the cloud could be thick and low enough to get some hill fog in places too. Temperatures are going to be similar to recent days, really, a touch below average for the time of year. So feeling a bit chilly, especially because sunshine will be so limited. But the winds aren't especially strong, just a bit of a breeze towards the far north and the far south as well. There will be more cloud, more drizzly rain as we go through this evening and overnight, especially across parts of England and Wales. But as we go through the night, I am expecting a few outbreaks of rain to push into some parts of Northern Ireland and to push into parts of southwest Scotland as well. Some clearer skies towards the northeast and of Scotland and across some parts of Northern Ireland too, but generally not as many clear skies or as much clear sky through compared to last night, and so it's not going to get quite as cold, not quite as frosty, but still a touch of frost in some places. Where the cloud remains, it's again not going to turn especially chilly, temperatures holding up, not a huge drop from the daytime highs for many of us. Still, where we see the clear skies, frost, there could be some fog and freezing fog patches once more as we go through tomorrow morning. Otherwise through tomorrow, and the focus of the drizzly rain will have pushed a little bit further north and west, so it's mainly going to be across parts of northern western England into Wales, and a few outbreaks elsewhere. Across central eastern parts of England, it's perhaps going to be a slightly drier day compared to today, but still pretty grey and gloomy for the whole. As opposed to across parts of Northern Ireland, there should be some breaks in the cloud here, perhaps a few spots of rain, and also across Scotland there should be some breaks in the cloud too. But later on, that front that I mentioned earlier does start to push its way in from the northwest, so we will see something a bit more persistent rain-wise arriving as we go through towards evening. Temperatures, well, relatively similar to today really, so no great shakes, a little bit below average for the time of year. As we head towards the weekend, we are going to see something a bit more unsettled arriving. So it's actually going to be calm as we go through, or generally calm as we go through Friday into Saturday. That front arriving doesn't bring a huge amount of rain for most of us. But by Sunday, that other feature that I mentioned is likely to turn things more unsettled. We can expect our winds to pick up. We can expect some rain, which could be quite heavy in some places, arriving in time for the beginning of next week. But we will also see something a bit milder arriving, so our temperatures are going to rise as well. You'll definitely want to keep up to date with the forecast with something a bit more unsettled on the cards for next week. You can do that by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Bye-bye.